I think it's time for us to get started, and I've got a new setup going here where I've got a little software mixer happening. I got it hooked up to my Korg Nano control, and I've got my real microphone rocking at the moment. By real, I mean it's serious business right here. So, if there are any problems with audio, please do tell. I would be very grateful, and obviously I got to get the balance on all this stuff correct. But we're going to do the thing, and we're going to give it a go. So today, and of course, welcome to Incognito TV. This is Brain and Body episode 10. This is a show that I dedicate toward either mental and or physical practice. And today we're going to start diving into a build that I've just recently become aware of, and it's got me a little intrigued. And that would be the Planetary Fortress Raven build, which is, I'd say it's the antithesis of how I want to play the game, but it meets the requirement of not involving tanks, because I just don't like tanks at all. Not at all. All right. So, provided the balance is good, I think I'm going to take the tunes out of my mix, and I'll keep it in yours. If you're having problems hearing the mic levels, just let me know, and I will get it sorted out. Because they're important. Also, yes, Nanus, it is. How's the levels? Do you hear the mic coming through okay? And does it sound cool? Yeah, it's pretty fancy. Fancy pants. All right. So the requirement is, I don't want to play TVT with tanks. And so I'm looking for all kinds of builds that I feel like I could accomplish that reasonably. And of course, we've got our Mass Reaper. But the problem with the Mass Reaper, whether it's proxied or not, is that, it still has a follow-up. And that follow-up for me contains tanks. So if I don't win with the Reapers, then I'm looking to win with tanks, and that's not what we're trying to do, right? All right. So I found Ketroc, or Ketroc. I don't know how to say his name because I haven't watched many of his videos, but I did find a YouTube video of him doing the Planetary Fortress Raven build, and this is what I would say is a bit cheesy because it is so turtly. It is absolutely turtly, and I can't believe that I'm going to learn a turtly build, but that's what's going to happen. So, yeah. And now here's the thing. If you're looking for these kinds of off-the-wall builds, you're going to have a hard time finding them in the traditional places, all right? You're not going to find this on IMBA builds, right? Like I'm looking here at their TVT section, and of course we got Reaper FE, we got Banshee, we've got Maru's Anti-Banshee, Innovations Marine Hellion, Yoda's Reaper FE into Widowmine. Okay, we've got 2 racks Reaper, we got Widowmine drop into Banshee, we got Tasia's Banshee, Pulse Banshee, Tasia's Auto Turret Doom drop, which that sounds interesting. We also have Mass Reaper, MKP's 111 all in, Proxy Thor drop, blah, blah, blah. Nothing here, Planetary Fortress Raven. All right. We go to Liquidpedia, StarCraft 2, Terran Strategy Portal. Okay. Nothing. Nope. Doesn't have it. Okay. And there's probably very good reasons for that. One is that your opponent is going to be really mad at you if you win. All right. 2 is that making a build like this work is got a lot to do with reading what your opponent is doing and making your decisions at the right times, and being very careful and considerate with your positioning and placement of your turrets and your air army. All right, because it's going to eventually be Raven battle cruise. All right, very few Marines. One tank is all that I've seen in the build, and yeah, that's all there is to that. And I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, there we go. See, now I don't hear the music, but I'm sure that you do. So that's cool. Now, how are we going to go about this? Well, in order to really, really study this build, all we have is a link. All right, so let's. I'm going to share this in chat just so that everybody has it if they want it. I think I can share links. Yeah, I can. Cool. All right. And basically, I've distilled down the beginning phase because I can't do this all at once, right? I have to do this in chunks. And what that's going to look like is the first thing to know is that we're always going to want to be one base ahead of our opponent. All right. So no matter how many command centers they have, whether they fast expand or whether they're going all in on one base or whatever it is, we just need to be one base ahead, and then we'll be pretty much where we want to be economically. It's going to be a one racks fast expand. We're going to wall off a ramp and get that second command center. And now here's the first decision point, which is you want to put your gas down. Let's see, when they're not going to be expanding, right? So if you go and you scout and it's not a fast expansion, basically right then you're going to drop both your gases, get your engineering bay, and then you have to make a decision about either going turret missile range upgrade first or planetary fortress first. And the decision there is about whether or not it's going to be a frontal attack or whether it's going to be a drop. And given my experience with TVT, I don't have a lot of frontal attacks early in the game. It's mostly Banshee or drop. So I feel like high sec is probably what's going to be the thing most of the time, and that's the very first upgrade you get. And then you're going to go into your factory. And then that's pretty much where I'm going to stop today. You know, given time, I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see. We will see. All right. So let's get in the game and let's figure out this build because it should be entertaining. And we're going to start off, you know, when we're learning builds, we learn the builds against AI just to get the sequence of events down. And I think that what we're going to do here is start with just this opening. We're going to assume high sec. We want a handful of Marines to be able to defend against drops and Reapers and Hellions, all that stuff. So we got to figure out, you know, exactly when we've got enough Marines. And then moving into switching through the tech. So that's what we're going to do. Because I would like to have more non-tank builds at my disposal. I think that I'm going to turn up my mic just a hair. Just a hair. All right, that was a hair. Here we go. Let's get in here and try to figure this build out. If we get something that makes some sense in the early part, then we'll start to move on to the next phases of the tech. But we want to get this up to the factory part. We want to get that locked in before we move forward with the rest of the build. So we got to take it in chunks. Those of you with more high capacity memories, you can take in a bigger chunk. There's a joke in there, but I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. All right. So this is going to look just like Okay, they're like, sometimes they're a little too quiet. All right, I might be having some things set wrong in on my dynamics processing. So
SCV ready.
all right. I guess if I eat the mic, it won't be a problem.
SCV ready.
I was trying to maximize the amount of noise reduction, right? Because the fan had been a problem in the past for a few of my viewers. So
SCV ready.
did some research, found a VST host so that I could use my downward expansion and all of that.
SCV ready.
Got the hotkey that. All right, so after the show, I'll probably do a little bit of fine tuning on my dynamics with the mic because I can get it smoothed out with a bit of compression and all that
ready.
business.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that I did not see is the timing on the orbital, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that
SCV ready.
that it's somewhere between 15 and 17 because we do need one orbital. All right.
SCV ready.
And part of this is that we're going to be working out the build a bit for our own, right? Because there isn't like some standard somewhere other than that video.
SCV
We're going to have to explore these things ourselves to some degree.
SCV ready.
All right, now I think we're going to be floating, get our second base, and we should probably go get a scout off. We're going to do that.
Go ahead. Roger.
Oh, things are happening.
You want a piece of me, boy?
I don't know what that was all about, but it happened.
Upgrade complete.
Big job, huh?
All right. I think we're actually going to be needing to send that scout a bit quicker because this is, you know, right about when we'd want to be making our decisions about gas or not gas. Yeah.
Our SCVs are under attack.
SCV ready.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and take that gas because there is no
Our
expansion.
SCVs are under attack.
All right.
Armed and ready. SCV ready.
We're going to go ahead and keep up the Marine and SCV production throughout. And we're floating a huge amount of minerals right now, and I don't think that that is part of the program. I feel like I'm missing something,
Go, go, go.
but maybe not.
Man the ring. SCV ready.
Okay.
You gonna give me orders?
So now we're going to go ahead and land this. Take our
What's going
engineering
on?
bay.
SCV ready. Want some?
And that's when we're going to need to have
Huh?
our engineering
Man,
bay is going to be
with the
required
gear.
for that planetary, right? Way too many minerals. I've got something terribly wrong about the opening. Terribly wrong.
I'm going. Ah! Escape.
There we go. And get our high sec going. So where would drops come from on this map? Well, there's a path this way, and there's a path this way, right? Around all the edges, right? And that's what we got to be thinking about to defend ourselves. So
Bad news.
like is a nice little spot here.
Well,
Right there. So many minerals, and now we've got gas.
Upgrade
Bam.
complete.
There's the
Yes,
factory.
sir. What's going on?
Yeah, something
SCV ready.
something is really amiss here. All right, so what do we need to do? We need to figure out where these minerals are supposed to be going. That's for sure.
Go ahead.
And-
SCV ready.
Let's see. Get ourselves a turret here.
Research complete.
And
Big job, huh? This better be good.
yeah, right around there.
Yeah, whatever.
So a little bit behind the planetary fortress. That's going to be part of the idea. All right. And Tech Lab, Airport. I feel like all of that could have been happening a lot faster.
Sure thing.
Additional supply depots required.
SCV
All right.
ready.
So I think what we need to do,
Yeah.
Add-on complete.
go ahead and take a pause and then take a look at this video. First, we're going to eject that USB stick that kicked me out of the game because that was silly. I don't even know what it's doing. Yay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Nanus. I thought that, you know, just the sound of my voice may be cool for some folks, but, you know, having some jams is probably a lot more fun. Okay. So let's take a look at this video. What is happening? What I really want is a replay. That's what I really want. Let's see. Let's skim the comments here and see if there is a link to a replay. This is an old video. Asking a question about it would probably be a little strange. No replay. All right. So I'm going to see if I can't share this out so we can look at it together. It's a long video, but I'm only really looking for how are the minerals getting spent early on. And OBS, where are you? You're over here now. Okay. That browser plugin, though. Here we go. Now, will you work? No. That was my mixer. What about now? Yay! All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and mute the music so that it doesn't conflict with the video. Remind me to unmute it if I forget. Okay, look at that. I just hit a button, right? Like just like a normal like soundboard. It's awesome. Just hit this little button. Everything gets taken care of. It's beautiful. It's amazing. All right, here we go. This is the opening, and what I'm looking for, I'm going to go ahead actually, and we're going to HD this up. It won't work in full screen so far as I know, because I've tried that. So we'll keep it in windowed view here.
Hello everyone and welcome to our StarCraft 2 live cast. This one's going to take place on Daybreak. Sorry, it's not a live cast. It's actually a replay cast.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to restart this video. So
Get it right.
It's taking place on Daybreak. I'm the red Terran Ketrach spawning in the bottom left, and in the top right is the blue Terran. I'm a woman. So figured I'd do this one by replay just because I want to talk a little bit more in depth about this Terran opener I'm doing. It's probably the only thing like brand spanking new I'm doing in Heart of the Swarm that's like different than what everyone else is doing that I think actually is somewhat viable. So
all right.
I decided to send out an early SCV scout. Not a big deal, but I find a lot of Terrans doing the quick wall off like I do, like here, so I want to make sure I arrive in time.
Okay, let's just stop right there. Let's stop right there. Okay, so we've got that part of it figured out just by testing it, that we need to scout earlier because we need to have that decision point sooner so that we can spend our money faster. So that part of it we're on track with. I think I'm going to keep the video muted because there's things I'm looking at and I don't want to be distracted by what he's saying because I've listened to it before. So I'm going to go ahead and actually bring the tunes back. Yeah, there we go. All right. And what I'm looking for is how are the minerals being spent early? All right. We're looking at the red Terran. We've got barracks, a fast wall off. Well, after a little bit of SCV harass, there was no wall off, but okay. And now that little SCV is just trying to see when the expansions are being taken. That's all it's doing. That's the whole point of that SCV. It's just when do the expansions get taken. Okay. And our red Terran here is actually floating significant, but he's about to take the expansion. And it looks, yeah, right on time. The orbital is almost finished. Okay. So what else do we got? Now, this is where I was having a hard time, you know, after I got the second base built, that's when I started having a hard time spending my minerals. And I want to see if our red Terran is floating lots of minerals as well. Got some Marines out to block this Reaper, but missed that little spot there, so it got in anyway. Takes a while to react, loses a Marine. Okay, okay. Cool. So still, oh yeah, there's lots of minerals just hanging out right now, 600 or so. Interesting. Now there's a third command center because his opponent took an expansion, so we're trying to stay one ahead with this build. Cool. All right. Because you're going to need lots of gas for all those Ravens and battle cruisers. Eventually. Okay. Still not much gas. It's getting spent as soon as he has it. All right. See, we're about 3 minutes into the video. Just has a handful of Marines. Takes that second base. Has a third under construction. Okay. Now's the decision point for the upgrade and the turrets. Still lots of floating. Not as much as I was, but still lots. All right. So that third base is heading out. That makes sense because his opponent's on 2. Okay, moving the barracks out of the way, getting the factory, and there's going to be a bunker. All right, so this is right about to the point where I'm trying to get locked in. So it's just one barracks and a factory, an engineering bay. And I would assume that right about now the turrets start getting built and that a tank comes out, one tank comes out of the factory immediately. And that's what we want to see. Still floating quite a bit of minerals. Okay, so there's a tech lab on the barracks. Here comes a drop. There's already a turret, 2 turrets down, actually. The medevac is almost dead. As soon as that gets sniped off. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up the Marines with a little bit of SCVs and some safety Marines. All right. So it looks like we want to have those turrets down, you know, around 7.5 minutes. This is my guess. To be safe against a lot of different plays. And now, what do we got coming in here? This is going to be, I believe it's going to be a starport. Come on, move your camera. See, this is why I want the replay. Yeah, I'm going to send him a message. Be like, dude, you have any replays of Planetary Fortress Raven? Yeah. All right, so we're using the barracks to create the add-ons. And cool. So there we have it. That's 9 minutes 25 into the game. That is when the first starport is really getting close to being done. And there's going to be a tank coming up. Okay. Alrighty then. So let me get out of this view so that we can get back to it. All right. So given that the majority of TVT happening on the ladder right now is 1-1-1, I know that most of the time I'm going to be playing against one base, right? So I can take that gas, that double gas, a lot faster. Like as soon as I get the second base down, I can get the double refineries happening. So that's exactly the way that's going to play. And once we have the factory, because once we have the Planetary Fortress, the factory, and the high sec, right, now we're going to have gas for tech labs, and we can use our barracks to create tech labs for the factory, tech lab for the starport, right? And then we'll have our Raven timing and our tank for defense. We should also have, you know, at least a couple of turrets up by that point as well. We have plenty of minerals because you're not spending them. You're just not. You're spending your gas. So let's give that another go, and we'll go for the immediate double refinery after starting the second command center. That way we have gas for Planetary Fortress and high sec rather quickly. All right, let's get into the game. Let's try that. Let's restart this thing. Cool. All right. Oh no. The very easy AI was victorious. I feel terrible about myself. All right, so we're gonna scout off of the supply depot, I think. So the SCV that builds the supply depot, we'll send that out to do the scouting. And yeah. All right. Okay, so that's gonna look like 10 depot, 12 racks, 15 or 17 orbital. Something like that. There we go. Get our cameras in place. All the things we normally do in a game because we are trying to get this thing locked in. We're just now learning this build for the first time. So we're going through the process. It is a process, at least for me. I'm looking to get at the most 9 minutes into this. It'll probably be more like 7 because I'm got to be able to get the early part locked in before moving on. All right.
SCV ready. Ah, you scared me.
And after that is done, we're gonna go here,
Yep.
here, and then hide out down there.
Gotcha.
A little late on the SCV, trying to get those clicks in. By the way, I've got a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm gonna get some
SCV ready. Overtime.
lighting gels so that I don't look like a vampire so much,
Yep.
which will be cool. I'm totally into not looking like a vampire, and a mouse surface so that my mouse is a little bit more accurate when I'm trying to do minute movements. It's got plenty of DPI. It's just on a wooden table, and it just doesn't work correctly. So we got one of those on the way, and all kinds of cool stuff. All right, I'm starting to hear a little click, click, click. So hopefully that's not audio issues rearing their ugly head once again. Because yesterday I had to cancel because I went with this new setup. It took me a while to work out the kinks. Hopefully I've worked them out in totality. All right, here we go. Orbital it up. Orbital, marine, and boom, finish the wall off. Now we're gonna float, get that second base under construction, and then immediately take our refineries. Both of them at one time. Safety marine is out. We're gonna wait to build more.
Upgrade complete.
All right, here we go.
Not enough minerals.
I can't build here.
Not enough
Second.
minerals. Not
Yep.
enough
All right.
minerals.
Now we're just gonna be throwing down refineries. Okay.
Big job, huh? Bad news. SCV ready.
Bam, there
Not
it is.
enough minerals.
Go ahead. SCV ready.
Okay, and we want to get these saturated up real nice and quick. Get our engineering bay down.
Go, go, go.
All right, and one more. There you go. You got it. Marines, let's go.
Arm, what's going on? Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
SCV ready.
Bam, mules, Marines, SCVs.
Better be good.
Just feeling tighter already.
SCV ready.
All right, and we forgot to put our little scout. Do one of these. Just go check on the time. Now, let's land our second.
Been waiting on you.
Actually, we're not going to be rallying forward like that. Oh, hey.
Huh?
Okay. I think we have plenty of gas to do both. Yep.
Big job.
Yep.
Go
All
ahead.
right. There we go. And we'll get ourselves a supply depot here.
Hear me. In the rear with the gear.
Lift that out of the way. And I think our factory is, yep. Yeah, totally doable. Here we go. We're going to build a tech lab
Bad news.
and a bunker.
SCV ready.
This is feeling a lot cleaner.
Upgrade complete.
All right.
SCV ready. I can't build here.
Add-on complete.
Cool. Now, that'll be ready for the factory.
Ready.
Research
Awesome.
complete.
Huh? You gonna give me orders? SCV ready.
So what we basically want is one in there,
By the numbers, boys.
and then the rest somewhere sort of moderately positioned between the two bases. And we can get our going over there and the tech lab there. And now we can start thinking about our turrets.
You're the boss.
There.
Bad news. I'm going.
I feel like there's a lot of space on this one,
Complete.
Sure thing. What's
so
going
it's
on?
going to take me a while to figure out how I want to place all these turrets. And you see that planetary fortress is going to melt any of the light stuff that's going to be going on. You know,
Not
what we're
enough.
concerned about are things like drops. and all of that. Oh, yeah. All right. So that tech lab is also ready for starport. Clearly, we got to get this, like, you know, clicking and firing in all cylinders. Get out that tank.
SCV ready.
There we go. Now we can resume our marine production if we want, I guess. I don't think anything is going to be coming into here that's going to be much of an issue. Question is on over here, because yeah, there's still a nice little drop path. So we could put one here. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. But
Big job, huh? Fueled up, ready to go. SCV ready.
you know, there we go. We can get out a Raven. Got our one tank. We're gonna put it behind. There we go. And in an actual game, we'd be seeing a lot more going on. But we're nowhere near ready for this. All right, so they're taking their next base. We're just gonna go hide and build another one. Another command, another planetary fortress for ourselves. There we go, and I think now would probably be an acceptable time to go for these double armories. I don't know, I'm just feeling this out a little bit at this point. There we go, our first Raven is online. And let's get ourselves another one. Move that off. And get ourselves another.
What's going on? Roger.
I don't mind spending a little bit more on Marines than probably what's called for, but I'm just feeling it out. All right. I think that we're also going to be doing the, what is it? This one. Yeah. I think that one is a thing. All right, guys. You all need to be shooting. Nobody gets a free pass. All right. And now we're really getting those Ravens happening. And we're gonna land that next base. So that's basically the build. I've got a lot more practice to do with it. But it should be quite entertaining. I'm gonna love seeing the reactions of my opponents to this, because I know that they're gonna love it as much as I do. Now, this is an interesting little place here, because you got two different angles that could come in for a ground assault on this base, right? And all kinds of airspace, both on the left side and the top side. So, like, here's a little bit of a thing to think about. Like, if I put a turret to protect here, then it's kind of vulnerable to an attack there, right? So maybe a better placement would be right around here, right around there, like not too far forward, because we want that planetary. You want the planetary to take on the frontal engagement, right? But also to protect. You also want to protect against the drops. So maybe something like this right here would be okay, and then this one could be further back, right? And then we could do something like, I want them to overlap just a touch, right? Because I want both of them to shoot at the same time and hit the medevac, because that'll basically kill them, right?
Upgrade complete.
And then we want to go and check on more of those expansion timings. There we go. All right, taking care of itself. And that's going to get that Raven. So Raven. All right.
Insufficient vespene gas.
Insufficient gas, because I didn't take any of my expansions gas, and that's the whole reason that we're pushing these expansions out rather rapidly. right, our opponent, our easy AI is still on 2 bases, so we don't really need to worry about it. We can start getting these upgrades. Oop, wrong variety. So used to playing bio. There we go. All right. So that's kind of how it's going to look. That was so sloppy, but that's the first time I'm trying this build. I don't really know what the happenings are. So I'm going to be practicing that a lot. All right. So let's do it again. We're going to move through it a bit faster and shut it down sooner. All right. Let's go again. Let's go again. Practice time. Oh, hey, it's up to me now. Aaron. Oh, rush. Whatever. It's very easy. AI isn't going to actually do anything. Okay. Build practice. Build practice. Go. I think that I'm going to spend a little bit more time with that video and get some of these locked in. The thing I don't like about that particular video is that his opponent actually expands rather rapidly, which is a bit unusual these days.
SCV ready.
Back when that video was made, I'm assuming that Reaper FE was a lot more common in the TVT matchup, and it is definitely not very common anymore, because it is seen as vulnerable to 111, and that is because it is.
SCV ready. In the rear.
All right, there it is. What we're trying out here is a tankless build. We're trying out the Planetary Fortress Raven build. I've got a love-hate relationship with this already. I already do. The hate part is the turtling. The love is no tanks. Like anything in life.
Additional supply depots required.
All right, so we're gonna get our first racks.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
All right, and remember I just said that Reaper FE was vulnerable to 111. Well, this is a Rax fast expand, but without the Reaper. And we're also doing ridiculous things like getting a Planetary Fortress that are natural, and then teching up quickly to Ravens. We're getting like turret upgrades, right, to stop the drops. Right, so long as we can intelligently place our turrets, we should be quite okay. This is just definitely not what I imagine my play style to be. So I'm a little bit. I feel a little dirty. I feel a little cheesy. Right, like this to me feels way more cheesy than some of the other builds that I do for TVT. Oh, I was intending to scout with that SCV. Well, that just got thrown right out the window. All right, we're gonna go. What are you talking about? This unit can't handle that command. Parked over there. Okay, we're a little bit late getting our next base happening. Trying to do that a little bit faster. We messed up with our scouting. Which our scout, thought I lowered that, but I guess I didn't. All right.
Yeah, whatever.
Here we go. Once we determine what's going on with our opponent, that's when we decide about the gas, or if we're going to go for third or not.
Coming through.
So the sooner you get the scout off, the better. And we're going to be parking it somewhere where we can easily sneak back in
Our
and check.
SCVs are under attack.
All right, so we're going to die to a Marauder.
SCV ready.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead and take that now. Early Marauder seems aggressive to me.
What's going on?
Engineering bay.
In the rear with the gear.
Third base.
SCV ready.
Oh yeah, we're going all the way. All the way.
SCV ready.
This one.
Saturated.
Bad news. Go ahead. What's going on?
Bam. There it is. All right.
SCV ready.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
How much gas is that? 150. That's quite a bit of gas. Quite a bit of gas.
SCV ready.
All right. That's why the decision is important. Make it.
SCV ready.
There it is. I believe this one's only 100. Yep. Okay. Great. And we're looking at our gas. We're just going to spend our minerals as we can. There it is. Let's get the upgrade.
SCV ready.
And let's start thinking about
Roger.
protecting the homeland.
SCV ready. We hear you.
Okay.
Upgrade complete.
Yo.
Like that position, I think.
Ah! You scared me.
A little bit overlapping with that other turtle. I don't know, something like that.
Very cool. Like a
And let's transfer some workers. Let's get this one into place. Don't really need the minerals so much as we need.
Yeah. Bad news.
And we're late on our factory once again. All right, there it is.
SCV ready.
Research complete. Our SCVs are under attack.
All right, that was well taken care of, and now we need to bust down these rocks. Should have done that a while ago. All right, make sure our rally's set too. And build some depots.
SCV ready.
Go there, yeah. Save the minerals. Save them all. All right, what do we got going on? Build a tech lab.
Upgrade complete.
Let's just go ahead and do that now. I don't know why my SCVs are rallying to this really ridiculous spot. Apparently, I decided that's where they should go. I don't remember making that decision. I feel like somebody made it for me. Maybe my evil twin brother.
Complete.
Completely obvious, rather than incognito. You see what I did there?
SCV ready. By the numbers, boys.
All right. So this is a bit of a tricky map in that I don't know where I should and shouldn't bunker or where to keep my Marines, because having my Marines close to the vulnerable spot seems like the thing to do. And right now, the most vulnerable thing is my main, given that it does not have the Planetary Fortress buffness. Right? And we can go ahead and make the gas happen. There we go.
SCV ready.
We also are going to need some turrets.
Bad news.
And it would transfer, except that would be really a good idea.
SCV ready.
How about we get ourselves a bunker here just in case?
Overtime. Go ahead.
Bam. How about we do that? All right.
Let's go. SCV ready.
Look at all of these floatings we have. We are not spending anything. What happens when you don't know the building? And you start to try to learn it. It's going to be awkward. You're going to feel like you're terrible because you are. And that's perfectly okay. That is the process. See, like, I've got so much stuff I could have already been doing right now. I could have had upgrades rolling. Alright.
Yep.
Add-on complete.
What are you doing here?
Big job, huh?
Not enough energy.
Now time to turret this one up. There.
Ah, just hear me.
I don't really feel like a drop is going to come from that side. It's going to come from over here. How about that? I don't know. Spending a lot of time also thinking about things like that because it's completely a new concept to me. A totally new concept.
SCV ready.
Get those Ravens. Their SCV. I don't know what you're doing, but you're going to build supply depots.
I'm going.
Alright. Put you in here. Sounds great.
Add-on
Yeah.
complete.
Cool. Add-ons are complete. Those were tanks. I don't need those. We need Ravens. There it is. We're going to go ahead and get that silly upgrade. And add on our armories. Ooh. Right. So at this point,
In the rear with the gear.
there's also going to have to be like a decision about do we need Vikings or not?
Gotcha.
Are they going to be totally superfluous or totally required?
Base is under attack.
Yeah, whatever.
No.
We hear you.
Look at those SCVs doing absolutely nothing reasonable because that's what I told them to do. Look at all these Ravens.
This better be good.
All right.
SCV
There's
ready.
so many starports.
Go
You know
ahead.
what else that means? That means it's time for the dancing fusion
Yes,
core.
sir.
All right.
SCV ready.
This is so backwards from the way I've been playing this game. And I want to talk about that for a minute before we wrap up because we are very close to our time. And I'm starting to sweat profusely. All right. So, like, this is a challenge for me because, not because it's complicated in and of itself, it's really not. It's just the first decision is the most critical one in this build, which is, do I prioritize the planetary fortress because I think I'm going to get attacked at the front, or do I prioritize high tech to defend against drops? Right. This is all in the context of TVT. That's the extent of the complexity, and then things like positioning your turrets, right? So you're not overspending minerals on turrets that you don't need. Because all you really need to do is get 2 of them shooting at a medevac, and it's going to drop and really take a lot of meat out of that. If not just turn it away. But with the range, that's going to be a lot harder. Right? Because that's what makes this interesting is the range on those turrets repelling those 1-1-1 drop-oriented builds or Banshee builds. Right? Banshee build is going to be pretty meaningless. So we're going to be in a good place economically. And the other thing I'm not doing here in this practice is I should be expanding much more aggressively, because that's how you win this game. You don't go and really attack. You just have more economy and more tech, and tech that deals really well with the kinds of compositions that Terrans like to play with once they get to the mid game in TVT. So, I mean, Marine tank. Well, Marines don't deal very well with planetary fortresses, do they? Nope, they don't. They die to them. Tanks. Tanks don't deal very well with planetary fortresses either. A sieged, like a tank in siege mode, which, you know, is probably what they're going to do, because they'd want to kill any mass repair. You don't need mass repair. You just need 2 SCVs per tank that's attacking that planetary, right? So just, you know, when I go into this, I'm going to be guessing a lot. I'm going to be guessing about, I'm going to try to grab the right number of SCVs with that in mind, right? 2 for each tank. That should be enough. If it's a little bit more, that's fine. But I mean, any kind of bio that pushes into it is going to melt pretty quickly. And the medevacs aren't going to be able to get all up on it because of that increased range on the missile turrets, right? There's a lot of cool things going on there. But you don't really have an army to go push the map with. So you push the map with your command centers. And with the 4th base and up, right? By this point, I should have like 6 bases. Like if I was in an actual game, I think I would have close to 6 bases, 5. And be pumping out a lot more units. Like that's got to happen. So I've got a lot more practice to do. I'll probably do some more practice on this tomorrow. I might even stream a little bit more than scheduled just to get some practice on this, because I want to start incorporating it into my ladder play like soon, real soon. But that 4th base, I was starting to say, sorry, tangent, the 4th base and onward, like then you can start making decisions like 2 planetary fortresses at 1 mineral line, or a planetary fortress and an orbital. But I don't really see the point of the orbital other than banking scans, which is only really relevant if you're attacking with an army rather than attacking the map with your presence at mineral lines, right? So it's really turtly in the sense that all of your heavy lifting is being done around mineral lines, but you should also be incredibly aggressive in taking all of the gas and minerals you can. And we're going to be massing up. Like I'm 15 minutes in, and I've only got 93 supply right now. But we're going to be massing up the Ravens. Probably mixing in a little bit of Vikings. Maybe. Depends on if they go air. If they respond with air, then we're definitely bringing in the Vikings. But we should be ahead on upgrades at that point, right? And like all the responses are going to feel very frustrating to our opponent, because we're already sort of there. We can deal well with tanks with seeker missiles. We can deal well with tanks with Yamato cannon. So that's going to be happening here soon. The more aggressive expansion will enable that happen easily. And, you know, Marines are going to have a hard time because we can just fall back to our planetaries. Tanks are going to have a hard time. Again, secret missiles, auto cannons. Air is going to have a hard time because they would have to make that decision very soon. Because otherwise, we're ahead. Battle cruisers, Vikings, Ravens are going to do quite a bit with their upgrades. All right. So that's just a little bit of a preview, and we spent most of the time learning, you know, the first 9 minutes of that build, and we've got a lot of work to do as far as turning that into a build that we can play confidently on the ladder. And it's going to be fun, though. Not in the sense of I like this play style, but in the sense that I feel a lot of people won't like what's happening, which will make for entertaining chat time. All right, so you've been you, and you are beautiful, and I've been Incognitio. Thank you for hanging out and checking out this build with me. If you are interested in what the build is, I will link it one more time in chat so that you can check it out in action by a, you know, highly skilled player. There you go. And you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to see if I can't clean up some of this volume changing with my mic before the next stream. And I'm glad that you are enjoying the tunes. Thank you so much.